So, good morning. This is presentation 4, my college career. I started with completed courses as my first tab because I really felt that was the most relevant as far as work experience goes. I started my college career actually while I was in the military and I was stationed out in California. There was a local college called Solano College, and they offered everything that I needed in order to finish the associates with the Community College of the Air Force, which I actually ended up not finishing until I got back to Michigan. But it's located in Vacaville, California, and I primarily did general education courses there. That was also where I took my first college-level electronics course. I was able to learn the basics of current flow and voltage and the small calculations that go in between. And that kind of sparked my interest when I left the military and came back to Michigan. The second school that I attended was Macomb Community College, and it's located in Warren, Michigan, and the courses that I took there were my first set of automotive technology courses. At this point in time, I wasn't 100% sure where I wanted to go, what I wanted to do, but I had always worked on cars, and I figured it just made sense. I was hoping a path would show itself as I was taking the courses. Also at Macomb Community College, I took all of the general ed courses. At the point that I finished all of the general education courses, I still really had no idea where I wanted to go. This gentleman right here is Dan Prater. I met him through a lot of my courses that I took, and he has the same bachelor's degree that I'm attending for now. He pushed really hard, told me what a great program it was, advocated for all the jobs that I could possibly get after I finished the degree. And with my military paying for all the schooling, it just kind of made sense. I wasn't 100% sure or confident in myself that I had the ability to take university level classes, especially considering in high school I really did very poorly. So this was a big step for me, and I'm proud of the fact that I started attending, which is the next school, Ferris State University. I started attending the automotive management program, I believe, in the spring of 2017. My favorite course so far on that one was 404. And I'm not necessarily certain that it's because of the content, more as I just really like the organization, the structure of that course. Being able to work on little pieces, every week, every 2 weeks, and then at the end, culminating that into one big project gives you a big sense of accomplishment. My plans after Ferris, I'm still undecided. I'm definitely going to continue school. I'm not sure if it's going to be an MBA or a master's or a second bachelor's degree. Again, I think I find myself with the same qualms that I did originally going from my community college to Ferris State, just not 100% confident in myself that I could tackle graduate level classes. The projects that I've worked on primarily were at Macomb Community College. I took a lot of electronics courses, again, that stemmed from my high school experience into Solano Community College that really sparked the interest for me. Initially, I thought about going to school for electrical engineering. Unfortunately for me, I'm not exactly mathematically inclined, so that wasn't an option. However, during those electronics courses, I was able to take or perform an exponential number of projects and team building events and things of that nature. One of the things that I'm the most proud of is this hovercraft here. This is the only picture that I have of it. It's unfinished. The finished project actually had servo motors on the back of it where I could pilot it around the classroom using an infrared controller, which was really cool. Ferris State University, so far, there's only been one course that I've taken any collaborative or team projects, if you will, and that would be the course that we're currently in, which is 402. That seems to be a strong point of mine. I didn't really do this on purpose, but during the majority of the project-related things in this course, I guess I kind of took charge of those, and I guess I felt it necessary to take the responsibility on myself because it helps alleviate the pressure off of the other students. I'm not sure if that's the military in me, that's just how I am. However, in 401,
Robert,
yes.
so you took 400 level before 300 level courses?
Yes, unfortunately, I didn't know, and I wasn't really paying attention, and nobody told me. I actually took 404 as my very first class, a senior level class, and I was kind of confused as to why it was so hard, but it made sense. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was chuckling.
Oh, I see. Yeah, and I ended up getting an A in the class, and that gave me a lot of confidence because I felt like I could get an A in a senior level class as my very first university class. I was going to be just fine. And even though I haven't yet taken 401, I've collaborated with several of the students that already have. Because I live in a very dealership dense area, I was able to help them gain some of the materials that they were looking for their class. And that gave me a great sense of what I can expect when I have to take 401. Internships, or well, internship in this case. I actually interviewed for an internship about 2 weeks ago, and it is from a company called Transnav Inc. They do injection molding plastics for various companies throughout the automotive industry, GM, Magna, Chrysler. They primarily do things like front bumpers, interior plastic pieces. They also do the whatever it's called, the bezel that's inside the gas tank that prevents the gas from sloshing around from one side to another. This was a great interest to me because it's one aspect of the automotive industry that I had zero experience with, so it was really interesting. The internship position that they offered me was an account executive role in which I will be working with GM and Magna. If I were to get hired full-time, it would become one of those. And essentially what that role is I will be in charge of an existing account and helping them take care of all their needs. And in the future, if they need anything extra, I will be the individual that they contact that sells it to them.
Did they tell you about their training program for that?
Not necessarily. I think with their internship, they're very, because for some strange reason, I sparked a great interest with the management. They had actually never had an internship for account executive positions before in the history of the company. They created one for me, and I don't know whether to be flattered by that or if it's just because they, really wanted to hire. What they told me was they wanted to hire me on full time. They didn't even want to do an internship. They were impressed with my resume. They called me back immediately and hired me for the internship role, but they kept asking, when are you going to be done? Can you start this role full time? Things of that nature. So from that aspect, I think that they're very wary on training me, but completely because they're worried that I'm going to leave after the end of the internship, which makes sense. I don't want to have a whole lot of equity with their company towards GM or Magna in any sense, because I don't want to end up leaving for a better opportunity and leave them in a position where they're unable to fulfill those requirements.
Okay, good.
My career plan. So I have quite a bit of experience as a technical writer, at least for my age anyway. When I was in the military, I did publications related stuff. I was also a part of a vehicle operations squadron. I had done technical writing before. When I got out, I needed a job. I really didn't have any college at all under my belt. And a friend of mine took a chance and recommended, based on my diagnostic abilities, recommended me for a company called Twiddle Group. And I did electrical diagnostics for this company for Nissan. And since I've had that experience, it's been absolutely amazing for my career opportunities. General Motors has had several recruiters contact me for similar roles. I'd say probably between 6 to 10 times I've been contacted by recruiters asking about a similar role at General Motors. And here, I've decided to include a link, which might be difficult to see, but I also include, you'll be able to follow along on your end. This is from the Bureau of Labor and Statistics for technical writers. It shows the median pay and the job outlook for the future, which I find a little difficult to believe that the median pay is $69,000 a year. I've done a lot of research, and mid-level technical writers in Michigan seem to make around the mid-50s. But as far as the job outlook, that's very encouraging for my experience. If I really like that role, I can continue to do it. They're looking at 11% growth between 2016 and 2026, which is considerably faster than average.
Our authors, we're based out of Milwaukee. There's 2 authoring centers, or houses there, 2 different companies, right. And their guys, I think, over in Milwaukee were making about the same amount.
55?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds about right. I'm guessing that the Bureau of Labor and Statistics were looking at all industries. automotive tends to be paid a little bit less, whereas IT and aerospace technical writers tend to make considerably more, and somewhere in the ballpark around 80 a year for a mid-salary.
Well, now that you mentioned that, a friend of mine was an engineer for Motorola. Actually, one of my previous employees, and their people made just astronomical amounts of money.
Yeah, and I've considered actually, after I'm done at Ferris, I'm considering taking courses in IT and HTML just for that purpose, because with a technical writing background, you know, having a bachelor's degree of science, and then if I can get a certification in HTML programming, that puts me in the mid-70s as a technical writer. So the next possible choice for a career plan would be an account executive role. Although I don't necessarily have any experience in this role, I was excited by the prospect that TransNav was willing to hire me for this role. I did a lot of research on it. It seems like it would be a great fit. I love talking to people. One of the horrible things about technical writing is you're sitting in a mundane office, not talking to anybody all day. If you ask them a question, they tell you to stop bothering them because they're trying to concentrate. Whereas a account executive role allows me to not only conversate with everybody around me, the internal customers, I'm able to take care of the external customers and be a point of contact for them whenever they need something. So it employs my technical skills and my insatiable need to conversate with people. So again, this is contingent upon me completing the internship, and if I enjoy the role, I may money isn't exactly an important thing to me. I want to enjoy my job, so if TransNav offers me slightly less than General Motors, if I like the job, I'll probably just end up sticking with it. And again, I've chose to include a link to the Bureau of Labor and Statistics. I couldn't find anything specific to account managers. However, a sales manager kind of has a similar ballpark set of skills and requirements that they want for that role. So that was the closest thing that I could find. Again, I find that the median pay at $117,000 a year seems a little unrealistic. However, again, the job outlook is around 7%, which is still showing average growth, which is great if I choose to go into that career field. And these are my sources. And that is it for my presentation.